Is it early? Yeah, maybe it's a bit early, but the NHL season is 1 week removed. So what I wanted to do was go out there and dive into the Calder rankings, because from the screen to the rink to the pen to the king, we have ourselves a bunch of guys who have gone out there and showcased that their names need to be in this discussion. And I'm going to be honest here, the Calder is always my most anticipated trophy of the year. Sure, the Art Ross and the Hart and the Lindsay and these are all fun, right? But for me personally, especially as a Vancouver Canucks fan, the Calder has cemented my love for the sport in being one of the most anticipated trophies of the year. The years with Besser competing with Barzal and Keller, and then inevitably Elias Pettersson winning and Quinn Hughes facing off against Cale Makar kind of set my love for this trophy in place. So what I wanted to do 1 week into the NHL season was give y'all the updated Calder rankings based off of the point production for rookies. Now, I have to be very clear. We're going off of points here to open things up because we always have to say this whenever we talk about the Calder Trophy. Pretty much, unless you're a goaltender that wins a whole bunch of games and becomes an instant starter, pretty much the Calder is just awarded to the guy who gets the most points. And there are a little bit of leniencies that are given out there. They're more lenient to defensemen because, of course, defensemen usually don't score as many points as forwards do. If you have a guy who is a forward who has a whole bunch of points, but a D-man is just slightly under the forward with fewer points, the edge will usually go to the defenseman. That is exactly what we had seen in... what year was it? Was it 2021? When we had seen Moritz Seider beat Michael Bunting and Trevor Zegras for the Calder? Something like that? Anyways, if you go over to the NHL's rookie leaders in scoring, this is where you'll dive into some of the top names that have taken over the Calder conversation for now. Number 1, you've got Logan Stankoven with 4 points in 3 games played. Number 2, you've got Lane Hutson with 4 points in 4 games. And number 3, you've got Seamus Casey with 4 points in 5 games. If you wanted to dive into points per game, number 1 in that category is actually Macklin Celebrini of the San Jose Sharks. He played 1 game, scored a goal and an assist, and then the Sharks determined, hey, he's actually not able to play, and we kind of got blue-balled a little bit. Either way, though, of course, we hope that Macklin Celebrini, for his sake, is able to recover properly and consistently find ways to play NHL games to a capacity that doesn't see him losing out on too many games. I say this because we have seen first overall phenoms have their rookie seasons cut short and therefore not win the Calder. Connor Bedard is the obvious example from last year, and then 10 years ago, Connor McDavid had the same thing happen to him. For Macklin Celebrini, though, he still is very well in the running for the Calder. I think a lot of people were saying it was going to be maybe a 2-3-headed race between him and this Philadelphia prospect over here and Matvei Michkov. But talking about the guys, firstly, who are leading the Calder race, Stankoven, Hutson, and Casey. This is an interesting group of guys, especially when you combine it with this other group here, because these guys have taken that clear step ahead, and I think out of all the rookies who have only scored 1 point, it was only really Matvei Michkov, whom I think a lot of people were projecting to having immediate success and a huge bid for this trophy. Of course, the Flyers have only played 2 games, and they've been doing pretty alright, admittedly, so Michkov definitely has a lot more time to continue producing and getting his groove in the National Hockey League. He looked pretty good in the game against the Vancouver Canucks. But talking about the guys at the top here, Logan Stankoven kicking things off for the Dallas Stars, I don't necessarily know if he has a really good shot at winning this trophy. I know he's on pace for 109 points, but the thing is, the fact that he plays for Dallas, and Dallas is already such a strong team, they're already such a powerhouse, and then they added Stankoven, it kind of puts him in a territory where I think his odds of winning this trophy when it comes down to a voting process might actually be a bit underrated. And I say that because for the Calder Trophy, you normally see guys who absolutely take control of their teams be placed higher up in the rankings. Moritz Seider was a number 1 D-man in Detroit. Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, same thing. Rasmus Dahlin, same thing. Elias Pettersson, number 1 center. Brock Besser, top goal scorer on the Vancouver Canucks. Matthew Barzal, 80-plus points. That was kind of the territory that we had seen with these guys in their rookie seasons. But Stankoven, the fact is, he is a third-line guy on this Dallas Stars team. And that's not to discredit him. He's a very good player, and he's going to produce a lot of points. It's just, at the end of the day, he's not going to be one of the best players on the Dallas Stars when you think about the Jason Robertsons and the Wyatt Johnstons and all the other guys rounding out their lineup. They're so good all around, and they're so deep that, narratively speaking, it'd be easy to say, oh yeah, Stankoven had a great year, but he is like 1C, 1B on the Dallas Stars compared to a guy like Lane Hutson, for example, who is already showing signs of being a number one caliber defenseman in Montreal. Don't believe me? All you got to do is just look at the numbers. He had 24 minutes of time on ice against the Penguins yesterday. That's number one defenseman minute potential there. If he ends up being a consistent 22, 23, 24 minute plus guy, and he continues to produce points that is in the same realm as what Logan Stankoven had done, then okay, I could totally see Lane Hutson taking over the Calder conversation compared to Logan Stankoven if you just think about the roles here. Obviously, you can say that Stankoven might be a better player, you can say that he'll have a better season, he might score more goals, he might score more points, but the Rookie Season Award is a Rookie Season Award. The Calder isn't necessarily given out to the rookie who happens to be the best player, it happens to be given out to the rookie who has the best season. And roles, ice time, deployment, narratives, how important a player is to a team is going to dictate a lot of those conversations and a lot of what people think about those conversations. Same thing could be said about Seamus Casey. He's had a really good start too. I actually do like the fact that Hutson and Casey are 1-1 in this conversation here, because Casey was also drafted in that same 2022 NHL Entry Draft. He was also a part of the NTDP alongside of Lane Hutson, and honestly, I feel like they play pretty similarly. It's just Hutson is a tad more dynamic, he's a little bit better with his edges, and he's left-handed compared to Casey, who is right. They're also pretty similarly sized, too, which is kind of funny. But Seamus Casey has started out his season with 4 points in 5 games and 3 goals on top of that. He's on pace for almost 50 goals as a D-man. Is he going to hit it? Probably not. But even rounding himself out and getting maybe, let's say, a 30 or a 40-point season, that's going to be awesome for the New Jersey Devils if Casey is able to continue this point production. He is the top-scoring D-man on the team right now, and he's overtaken guys like Jonathan Kovacevic, for example. Dougie Hamilton is over here with 0 points in 5 games, however the heck that happened. Simon Nemec, same thing. And there still is Luke Hughes, who is not suited up for a game just yet. So right away, Seamus Casey, he's been given a chance to shine, he's taken it, and he's ran it. He's run with it like he has stolen it. It's crazy. Who knows if this opportunity for him is going to last and if this production is going to last once Luke Hughes and Brett Pesce come back into the lineup. But for now, he is one of the top rookies in overall point production, leading him to the top of this Calder conversation. If Seamus Casey is given the Lane Hutson treatment, which I don't necessarily know if it's possible, considering New Jersey's a lot better than Montreal and they have higher expectations in general, then he could very well keep his horse in the race here. But long term, it's really going to depend on roles, it's going to depend on how these teams use these players, and the same thing could be said about the guys here who are ranked in the 4th, 5th, and 6th spots for the Calder race. Macklin Celebrini, as we had said, he is going to be used as a top guy. It just really matters on whether or not he's going to be in the lineup, if he's injured or not. As for the other guys, Maxim Tsyplakov is a really interesting name because he's 26 years old. He's really, really old. This is like Michael Bunting all over again. But as we had been making videos about Tsyplakov all summer, he was a guy targeted by Detroit, he was a guy targeted by Boston and Toronto, he was a top scorer in the KHL who found himself onto the Islanders, a team who needs scoring. Tsyplakov played 17 minutes in the game against Dallas and 20 minutes in the game against Utah, where he had scored his first NHL goal. 14 minutes against the Colorado Avalanche as well, wherein he had his 2nd point of the season in his 3rd game. Tsyplakov is going to be given minutes, and if he's able to continuously produce 2, who knows if he's going to overtake Logan Stankoven in the eyes of the voters in terms of who has the best rookie season. Emil Heineman, you could debate, same thing. He's pretty hot right now because he scored 2 goals in the previous 2 games, although his ice time and usage is a lot more limited compared to Tsyplakov and Stankoven. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Calder race so far, and what are your thoughts on these guys leading the charge? Stankoven, Hutson, Casey, Celebrini, Heineman, Tsyplakov, and everybody else in between here who have fewer points and thus a fewer shot at winning the trophy if it was announced today. It's been 1 week of NHL play. We're not going to announce it today, but over the course of the rest of the season, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.